January of 2022, not quite 2 years ago, the Maine rapper Spose decided to try something new. Spose, who grew up in Wells and whose real name is Ryan Peters, began to paint. When we heard about that new pursuit, we were curious about how it worked out and where it has led.
Well, we've had all these conversations over the years. I never would have guessed that you and I would sit down one day to talk about your art.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either. Not that I've conquered music. I still love to do, music, and I did it this morning. But I think I was like, can I do? I had the challenge in my mind of, can I do art? Can I paint?
That was the first time you picked up a paintbrush, January 22?
Besides one of those go drink wine and paint bars, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, January 2022, but kind of like my music, I feel like I've only had success with my music because I treat it like any other job and I tried to do it like 9 to 5. So the January that I started this, I did it 9 to 5. I painted 9 to 5 and I had no idea what I was doing.
Spose has been one of the best known musicians in Maine since 2010 when he released his breakout hit, I'm Awesome.
I'm awesome. No, you're not, dude. Don't lie. I'm awesome. I'm driving around in my mom's ride. I'm awesome. A quarter of my life gone by, and I met all my friends online.
Spose knows videos, which came in handy.
I taught myself to paint using the modern tools of our time, which is YouTube, and Instagram videos. And I would just watch how painters painted, and I'd be like, okay, well, they cover the whole thing with a light brown first, so it's not white, and just little things like that.
One of the artists whose videos Spose studied was Jeremy Miranda, who lives in York County. Miranda's work provided instruction and inspiration.
After you'd been doing it for maybe a month or two, had you gotten appreciably better?
Totally, definitely. Even just getting colors, like getting a certain blue, I'm aware kind of how to get it now, whereas it would have been a trial and error, I keep wanting to swear, but it would have been a mess.
So I started off by painting all my album covers, and now if you want, you can own one. I put them all up on my website.
Much like my music, I'm only really interested in doing stuff that is a little unique, maybe not like everybody else's, A, and B, another thing I'm drawn to, much like my music, is the things I know, which are Maine and my life.
Spose also wants his paintings to reflect his time on Earth, so he'll throw in references to contemporary technology or culture, such as his daughter giving him what he calls the death stare when she's distracted from her screen. Or this portrait of one of his sports heroes, Serena Williams, ready to serve, but with apocalyptic flames shooting into the sky behind her.
I love this image, again, of a powerful woman unfazed by, war.
His hometown has also provided inspiration.
I went to Wells Beach and took this photo, and I took C-3PO and R2-D2, obviously, from Star Wars, and I put them in there. But
what was the inspiration? Do you remember what the thought was when the thought came into your brain of, I'm going to put the 2 Star Wars figures on Wells Beach?
I knew that Wells Beach wasn't enough.
At what point did you have the confidence to show some of your work to other people?
It was at 2 months in, I posted one. And I got so much enthusiasm from people, which is nice. It's nice to get external validation.
But did you think, they don't really like the paintings, they just kind of like me and my music, and that's why they're giving me some love?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of a novelty to the rapper is painting that gives me a little bit of, it's like if I do anything, if I made a Raspberry Pi, they're like, what, the rapper made a pie? It's as if we're just complete idiots who can't do anything else. So
you've got a show coming up where you're going to put your paintings in front of the public and give people a chance to buy them.
Yes.
Are you nervous?
There's always some haters. So somebody will come in and comment, this sucks. Stick to rapping, but overall I'm excited. I'm putting them up on eBay because I don't know, so each one will have a QR code next to it and you go to eBay to bid or to buy it because I don't know what they're worth.
Maybe in years to come, these will be referred to as from the early Spose period.
Yes, yeah, the blue period. Yeah, I don't know. So that would be sick. I'd love to have my art divided into periods. I mean, certainly I feel like my music is divided into those periods a little bit. So yeah, that would be cool.
Let's talk about music a little bit.
Yeah.
Where does your music career stand now?
Still paying the bills, so that's kind of that's maybe how I was able to have the luxury to have the time to learn to paint.
Let's peer into the future. 10 years from now, what do you think you're going to be doing?
So I get joy from making music. I would love to always make music. I would love to get good at painting. I really, at this point, find joy in painting. I'd love to keep doing that. But all that said, I would love for them to not need to sell. I'd love for the paintings to not need to sell and the music to not need to sell and have other...
So you want to win the lottery?
Well, I've got other... you know what? I'm gonna be selling products. My first move is into the cannabis industry. And then I've got other ideas from there.
And no doubt, those ideas will be interesting. Spose is going to be presenting his art at what he's calling his Anyone Can Paint show. It starts Friday, December 1st, and it runs through December 17th at Over Here Studio at Thompson's Point in Portland. All the paintings will be for sale by auction on eBay. And Spose will be getting back to his music with his annual P-Dank Christmas concert. That's on December 16th at Aura in Portland. You can find information about all of those things in the 207 section of our News Center Maine website or app.